Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Rumana with your histology lecture on nervous system. We have already done spinal cord. Today we'll be discussing cerebrum. Cerebral hemisphere consists of a convoluted cortex of the gray matter which is overlying the central medullary mass of white matter. And as we have already, when we were studying spinal cord, we have noted that the white matter is present on the outside and the gray matter inside, while the reverse is in case of cerebral cortex. So the gray matter is present outside and the white matter is present inside. And the gray matter, it consists of neurons, cell bodies, and their dendritic interconnection and the neuroglial or the supporting cells or the glial cells. The white matter, however, conveys fibers between different parts of the cortex and they form and from other parts of the central nervous system. The cortex is a thin layer of neurons and their interconnections measuring few millimeter and contains about 30 billion neurons. The evolved cortex in mammals is called as neocortex and it consists of the typical 6 layers of the neurons present in the cerebral cortex that we are going to discuss in detail. We must have an idea of the different types of cortex. The neocortex, it is more than 90% of our total cortical area. It contains it is a 6 layered structure that we are going to discuss and it is referred to as homogenic cortex. While the paleocortex, it covers some parts of the base of the telencephalon or the olfactory area and it forms heterogenic cortex. While the archicortex is related with the hippocampal formation. Coming over to the histology of cerebrum, the white matter is made up of nerve fibers, which are these nerve fibers are commissural fibers, association fibers, and projection fibers that you are also going to study in detail in when you will be studying neuroanatomy. Now the gray matter, it consists of neurons and the neuroglial cells. This is the diagrammatic representation of the type of neurons which are present in the cerebral cortex. Basically, they are divided into two types, that is the pyramidal cells and the non-pyramidal cells. And as you can see in the diagram, there are different types of non-pyramidal cells. The one which is on the top in the red is the horizontal cell, then on the left is the fusiform cell, then comes the yellow ones are the satellite cells, and the triangular one that is in the blue color is the pyramidal cell. Again the green one is the Martinotti cell, and then again the blue one is the pyramidal cell, yellow is the stellate shaped cell, and in the white matter you can see the green arrow which is actually showing the efferent fibers and the red ones are showing the afferent fibers. So this is the how different types of non-pyramidal cells and the pyramidal cells they appear. So the cells of the cerebral cortex are the pyramidal cells which are further divided into small, medium and large pyramidal cells. I will discuss them one by one in detail, each of these cells. In this slide again, the different types of the neurons which are present in the cerebral cortex are drawn and they are pyramidal cell, fusiform cell, granular or the stellate shaped cells, horizontal cells which are also called as horizontal cells of Kagel and the cell of the Martinotti. Starting with the discussion of the 6 type of neurons one by one. starting with the pyramidal cell, which is pyramid in shape, that is triangular in shape, and from the three sides of the triangle are arising dendrites. Now from the base of the triangle arises the axon. They have got a prominent nucleus and nissl substance. They can further be divided into small sized pyramidal cell which vary in size from 10 to 12 microns, medium sized neurons which are 40 to 50 microns, and the large sized pyramidal cells which are also called the bed cell. They are more than 100 micron in length and they are very large in size. Now coming over to the second type of cell, the stellate cell or the granule cell, they are small in size, polygonal in shape, and these granule cells are also called a stellate cell because each of these cells give off a large number of small dendrites that pass into various directions, giving it a star-shaped appearance. It has got a dark condensed nucleus and the axons terminate in the next layer or they go a little bit deeper. The diagram on the right side, you can see the encircled red area. The red circle is enclosing the stellate shaped cell. And then comes the fusiform cells. They are fusiform in shape and they are oriented perpendicular to the surface. One dendrite moves towards the superficial layers while the axon moves towards the deeper layer. So the arrangement of the fusiform that I have marked with a blue rectangle is showing that the axon is moving towards the deeper layer while the dendrites moves towards the upper layer. In this slide, you can very clearly see a stellate shaped cell or the granular cell. They are the principal interneurons of the cortex and they are typically small, less than 10 micrometer, and they are multipolar neurons. Now the function of the stellate cell is that I have told you that these cells are very small and they have got a short axon and therefore they do not leave the cortex. They are also the principal interneurons of the cortex. So they are making interconnections between the different layers of the cerebral cortex. I will again repeat the fusiform cells. These are spindle shaped cell or the fusiform in shape. They are oriented at right angle to the cortex. The axon arises from the side of the cell body and passes superficially, while the dendrites they extend from each end of the cell body, branching into deeper and more superficial layer. And the function is similar to that of the pyramidal cell. Now the coming to the third type of cell, that is the horizontal cell of the Kajal. They are spindle shaped cell. They run parallel to the surface and they are the internuncial type of cells. Uh, these cells are marked with the mustard circle in this diagram on your right side. Then comes the cell of the Motti-Notti. These are small triangular cells and the axon goes towards the surface. Another type of cells which are present are, they are the Golgi type 2 cells and their process ends close to the cell body. They are forming the local circuit in the cerebral cortex. So the horizontal cell of Kajal and the cells of the Motti-Notti we have discussed and I will show you their picture in more detail. Now discussing cell of the Motti-Notti, they are small polygonal cells. They have very short dendrites while the axon extend towards the surface and bifurcate to run horizontally in the more superficial layers. They form synapses with the pyramidal cells. Now coming over to the next variety of the neuron which are present in the cerebral cortex are the horizontal cells of the cajole or the rexis caudal cells. What is the shape of the cell? They are small spindle shape. They are oriented parallel to the surface. They are the least common cell types. They are found only in the most superficial layer. Axons pass laterally to synapse with dendrites of the pyramidal cell. They are prominent during the development but they disappear after birth. So these are the important points that you should be knowing each and type of the cell, their shape, what is their arrangement, and I will tell you how they are arranged in different layers of the cerebral cortex. Now the layers of the cerebral cortex there are six layers. The molecular layer, the outer granular layer or the external granular layer, then the external pyramidal layer, internal granular layer, internal pyramidal layer, and the multiform layer. So, discussing the first layer, that is the outer molecular layer. In this layer, you will have to draw horizontal cells and Golgi type 2 cells, then the right angle cut nerve fibers from the pyramidal cell, fusiform cells, and cells of the Morty. Now the molecule, why this layer is called the molecular layer, and it is also called as the plexiform layer, because it chiefly consists of cell processes, that is the dendrites and axons of the cells which are present in the deeper layers. When the section is made for the nerve fiber, these transversely cut cell processes, they give a punctate or molecular appearance of this layer. Now, as I've told you that it also contains neuroglial cells and some horizontal cells. They are also present in this layer. Uh, then comes the outer granular layer. This layer consists mostly of closely packed granular cells or the stellate cells. In addition, many small pyramidal cells are also present in it. So the dendrites, they end in the first layer while the axon form association. Then comes in this diagram you can see that in the first layer only you have to draw the small dot form of the molecular layer which is showing the cut section of the nerve fibers. Then in the second layer, that is outer granular layer, which is in the diagram on the right side, you can see that it consists of stellate shaped cells, which is the stellate shaped cells, as you know, is polygonal in shape, and they are very small in size, and small size pyramidal cells you have to draw in this layer also. And then comes the outer pyramidal layer. This layer is composed mainly of medium sized pyramidal cell. When we were discussing the pyramidal cells, we have divided into three main types. The small ones which are present in the outer granular layer, and now coming over to the outer pyramidal layer, there you will find medium and few large pyramidal cells, and axons forms association and commissural fibers. Some granule cells and Martinotti cells can also be found in this layer. So you have to draw all these types of the cells that is the neurons we are discussing, and have discussed their shape, size, axons, dendrites in the previous slides. Now coming over to the fourth layer, that is the inner granular layer. It is made up of closely packed stellate shape or the granular cells. It has got lot of fibers. That's why it is called as the band or the outer band of the bilarger. Coming over to the fifth layer, that is the inner pyramidal layer. This layer consists mainly of large pyramidal cells. In addition, it also contains fusiform cells, granular cells, and Martinotti cells. And the horizontal fibers present in this layer is called as the inner band of the Ballarger. So in the diagram on the your right side, you can appreciate the outer band. Why it is called outer band? Because it consists of lot of fibers in the inner granular layer, and these further arrangement of the fibers in the inner pyramidal layer is called as the inner band of the Ballarger. Coming over to the last layer, that is the sixth layer, that is a multiform layer or the fusiform cell. Fusiform cells, are the spindle shaped cells, and a few granular cells, few fusiform and stellate shaped cells are also present over here. Uh, it contains neurons of various shape, and therefore it is also known as the polymorphic layer. So we have done all the six layers of the cerebral cortex. Now again, repeating the plexiform layer, uh, that is the outermost layer or the superficial layer, also called the molecular layer. You also have a more clear concept in this diagram on the hemotoxin and eosinic staining, that how it appears under the microscope. So it contains many dendritic and axonal synapses with one another. Very few nuclei are seen that belong to the neuroglial cell, and occasional horizontal cells of the caudal are seen over here. And why it is called the molecular layer? Because of the large number of the nerve fibers, when they are transversely cut, they give a small dot punctate or molecular like appearance. This is how the outer granular layer appears under the microscope with hemotoxin and eosinic staining. You can see in the diagram on your right side, on the top is the molecular layer, and then comes the granular layer. And it consists of densely population of small pyramidal cell and the stellate cell. And it also contains various axons and dendritic connections. Coming over to the third layer, uh, recall in your mind that it is the pyramidal cell layer. What is the size of the pyramidal cells which are present over there? They are the moderate size pyramidal cells. So when you will be drawing this pyramidal cells in your diagram, you will have to draw the medium sized pyramidal cell, and a few large pyramidal cells are also present. And what are the large pyramidal cells called as? They are called as the bed cells. Then it also contains Martinotti cells. Now in this slide with the different staining, uh, you can see that the inner granular layer consists of densely packed stellate shaped cells, which are very small polygonal cells, and the dendrites are emerging from all its sides, and therefore giving it a star shaped appearance. The coming over to the fifth layer, which is the internal pyramidal layer or the ganglionic layer, it consists of large pyramidal cell, stellate shaped cells, which are few cells of the Martinotti, and huge pyramidal cells, which are called the bed cells of the motor cortex. They are present over here in this layer. Hence, this name is also called as the ganglionic cell layer. Coming over to the last layer of the cerebral cortex, it is called as multiform cell layer. Why it is called as multiform cell layer? Because it contains all morphological forms of the cell are present in this layer. Fusiform cell in the deeper, and other cells are present superficially in this layer. This is the microscopic picture of cerebrum under low magnification. You can see the cerebral cortex, and you can appreciate the six layers of the cerebral cortex that we have discussed in detail repeatedly. I hope you will remember their names. Now, coming over to the interconnections of the cortex. It has got afferent fibers which synapse high, that is superficially in the cortex with dendrites of the efferent neurons, while the efferent fibers, typically the axons of the pyramidal cell, they tend to give off branches. These branches, they pass back into the superficial layer to communicate with their own dendrites, and this can be via the interneuronal connections or involving other cortical cell types. So how the afferent and efferent fibers they are synapsing? uh, the afferent fibers, they synapse high in the cortex with dendrites of the efferent neurons or efferent fibers. They typically, the axons of the pyramidal cell, they tend to give off branches. Then these branches, then they pass back into the superficial layer and they communicate with each other, and the other interneuronal connections are also present in the is being this function is being performed by the other cortical cell types. In my previous lecture, when we were discussing the nervous system briefly along with the spinal cord, I've told you the type of the neuroglial cells which are present in the central nervous system and the neuroglial cells which are present in the peripheral nervous system. So now, as we are doing the central nervous system and the cerebral cortex in it, so the type of the neuroglial cell or the supporting cells or the glial cells. These are all the three names for these neurons. They are, I hope you can recall them, but I'll repeat it. The astrocytes, oligodendroglial cells, then the microglial cells, and the ependymal cell. I hope you remember their function because it is very important. But still, I will repeat it again in this lecture too. Coming over to the first type of the neuroglial cell or the supporting cell, that is the astrocytes, they are actually the most numerous glial cell in the gray matter. The nucleus of these cell is round to oval, and the cytoplasm is highly branched, and their foot processes act as the blood-brain barrier, called as the glia limitans. Their function is to supply nutrition to the neurons, remove excess of the neurotransmitter. It also helps in the formation of the blood-brain barrier. The oligodendrocytes, they are the second type of the neuroglial cells which are present in the central nervous system, and they are found mainly adjacent to the neurons or the axon. Their function is the myelination of the neurons in the central nervous system. And recall how the myelination occurs and which cells are helping in the peripheral nervous system. The third type of the supporting cell are called as the microglial cell. Can you see the beautiful diagram of the microglial cell on your right side? You can see the cell body and mesenchymal and the small cell of the mesenchymal origin. They have got an elongated nuclei and relatively little cytoplasm. The cytoplasm forms fine, highly branched processes. And whenever there is tissue damage, they transform into large phagocytic cells. Therefore, they protect the neurons from the disease process. They even act as scavengers of the nervous system. These microglial cells are actually the representatives of the macrophage monocyte defense system. So you can see the beautiful diagram of the microglial cell. Ependymal cell, they are also the glial cell, and they form the epithelial lining of the ventricles and the spinal cord. And what is their shape? I hope you remember the ependymal cell lining the central canal of the spinal cord. They were cuboidal or low columnar in shape. The cells are bounded at the luminal surface by the epithelial junction complex, and the function is that they form lining of the ventricles of the brain and central canal of the spinal cord, and they help in the formation of the cerebrospinal fluid, helps in its circulation, and so these are the supporting cells of the gray matter. I hope the this lecture gives you a clear concept of the histological appearance, the types of the cells present in the cerebral cortex, what is the arrangement of the gray and the white matter. Now you'll have to draw its diagram also. This lecture is actually completing your lecture as well as histology practical. In the histology practical, you'll have to draw its diagram and do the assignment and send it as on my email address. Thank you. I hope it is clear to you.